This week we have big problems. It's on the bottom. Engine cut out and there's smoke coming out where the coolant bottle is. This morning we're about to leave the Canal extension canal, but just before we go I want to show you something that's really interesting. I've never seen it before on the system. Okay, so I'm at the bridge and you'll notice there's a box of a solar panel there, and just tucked into the concrete where the bridge starts is a metal box, and it has a sensor on it. And then over here, this also connects to that sensor. When you move your hand along it, it flashes on the other side. And a local told me basically it's monitoring how much traffic comes down this canal so it doesn't disturb a rare water plantain that exists here. Our journey today is going to be about 5 hours, and we're looking to find a really nice place to moor your boat in Wolverhampton, so that's what we want to aim to do today. But let's get winded first. Let's turn this boat around and get in the right direction. It's truly beautiful here, it really is. How are you this morning, Seth? Are you up for a 5-hour cruise? There's a place to wind the boat just up ahead, and then we'll head off the Canal extension canal, back on the Curly Whirly, Riley and Essington, and then all the way to Wolverhampton. This canal served many collieries in its time, but had to close in the end due to mining subsidence. Got the Old Warf there tucked in between the branches. So what this is here, it's a way of installing a silt absorbing system. So like I showed you in the previous vlog, the sort of matted jute type sacks and sausages are placed in between posts along the edges, and what they do, and you can sort of see that happening here, is they absorb the silt and they seem to absorb the floating green weeds. As well as that, they plant them with reeds to establish a wildlife habitat. To Wolverhampton we go. Back on the Riley and Essington. Glorious views. Look at these two. This area is called Pelsall, and it's home to an author called Anita Bates, who's managed to fill up 3 volumes of ghost stories based on the locals' paranormal experiences. It's believed to be one of the most haunted places in the country. See all the bubbles, but it's very shallow here and there's silt at the bottom. It releases the gas, the bubbles coming up from the top, and it smells a bit eggy. What, kingfisher this morning? some really healthy looking palm trees growing there. There's a little murmuration going on there. Look at that. Starlings murmurate for warmth, for protection against predators, and to exchange valuable information. But I notice how every now and again one starling dropped out of the formation and then the others would go and collect it and turn in the new direction. Looks like a fish trying to jump out of the water to avoid a predatory fish underneath the feet of a heron. I'm gonna, whatever this is, try and get it to the service point and throw it away. It's coming with us. This is Birch Hills Junction. This is where we came out when we came off the Warsaw Canal. So where we are going now is going to be New Canal for us. What a gorgeous autumnal scene. Look at the colours. Beautiful. So beautiful. Actually, as we go through this junction, we are going to turn round on the left hand side. But here, on this hand side, here, this is the old Riley and Essington Canal. Part of it branches off to Riley and the other part branches off to Essington. You can't get down there anymore. There's a wall there, but you can walk down there. Yeah, it's got a bit chilly and it is starting to rain. We're about 2 hours away. Going under the M6. This is when we notice that something must be around the prop, but we've had things around the prop loads of times before, so it shouldn't be a problem. But then the engine suddenly cut out. Smoke coming out of here. Here, Zev, quickly! Come, Zev! I've come in the boat because engine cut out and there's smoke coming out where the coolant bottle is. So I brought Zephyr inside. We've only just had an engine service done last week, so we can't think what on earth the problem is. Come out, Zeph! We can't get her in any further. This is a bad place to break down. She won't go in any further. She's on the bottom. Dear Zeph. Be a little bit stuck. So we've got a few issues here. We've got to find somewhere to moor the boat. We're not going to have enough solar to run the boat. We use our engine to charge up the batteries this time of year for an hour in the evening. At the moment I don't know what we're going to do, how we're going to solve this one. And I've lost a glove. First of all, we had to find a place where we could get Alice Gray safely into the bank. We're just mooring up here, slightly quieter actually. The RCR, our membership had just expired and we were going to rejoin. We just hadn't got round to it. So they have let us rejoin but at a premium. So we've spent £250 rejoining. But what they have just told us is that they're going to send an engineer who will be with us within an hour, which is incredible. We found this cylinder head bolt here, which was down here. What we think's happened is the engine, basically here, all the coolant had come out, the thermostat indicator on our panel must be broken because nothing came on, and so this was all overheating because it had no coolant, and in doing so it must have expanded and blown off this part here, completely blown it off. And we did the engine checks to start with, we made sure we had coolant. Okay, this is the second day, and what we're going to do is, the engineer yesterday said to us he thinks if we take it really slowly and keep an eye on the coolant, we should be able to get to a more secure mooring so we can have work done on the boat. But this is what was around the prop, and in all honesty, that should not cause our engine to expand and blow like that, just that stuff. We've had bigger things on the prop before. Right, our job is to walk alongside the boat and pull it in by the centre line if there's any problems. Have you understood the instructions, F? She's taking her job very seriously. And that's how our journey continued. On the way to Wolverhampton, we must have stopped 3 or 4 times for about half an hour to let the engine cool down. We'll have a brief stop here. The guy just asked me to see if I can get his rubber fish. I think that's what he said at the front.
Oh, did you see right there?
This stick?
That big stick's on the end of that, so
I can't see a fish. We try our best to scan the reeds for this rubber fish, but we can't find it anywhere. Couldn't find their lure for them. Elbow, the devil's elbow. Engine's off again, and we're drifting. We're just mooring up by this bridge. We're going to wait for it to cool down because you can see that it's steaming. It's over steaming again. So I'm going to have some lunch and then try and get to Wolverhampton. About 20 minutes away now, so we just need Alice to hold on for us. She's done an amazing job. This is a magnificent structure. We have got a whole car park on top of this bridge that we're going under. Luckily there was one space left at the top of the 21 Wolverhampton locks. And now we just wait for an engineer to come, but also there's a big storm, Storm Kieran, on the way. Right, I'm running the engine in out of gear to charge up the batteries. Okay, it's working, it's charging there. Zephyr and I just got back from a wet walk. Just walking down the Aldersley flight. There's a pair of Gassanders. It just goes to show we're stuck in a town, but there's still so many beautiful things to see. This stretch is quite lovely. It's full of birds, lots of sparrows, some blue tits. This is the snowberry. Safa, are you going to tell people where we are? Park, tracing history. I love it when people make these history boards. It's just brilliant. It just makes it really interesting walking around, and it gives you an appreciation and an insight. So these boards are incredible. So Zephyr is in the turntable. So it was an essential pit stop for the 8 lanes of railway lines that cross the park behind here. So the engines refueled here and turned around so they could go back on the line facing in the right direction. And it was the railway workers that turned the engines by hand using mechanical winders. Right where Zephyr is. So this is a cross shaft, and it's the only remains of an Anglo-Saxon monastery that used to be here. You can't see the engravings clearly, but it's believed that they looked like this when they were new. This building is where the world-famous security locks from Chubbs started in 1818. But you can't come to Wolverhampton and not admire the beautiful gold and black Molineux football stadium, which matches their motto, "Out of darkness cometh light." It was the first football stadium to actually install floodlights, which meant that they had to change their old gold to a brighter gold on their football shirt, so they stood out more under the lights. It happened on the day the Starling fell from its murmurating cloud. Fish surfaced in a splattering swirl beneath a heron's shroud. Our engine coughed a smoky wheeze and dragged its frazzled prop, whilst from the depths egg bubbles squeezed and burst the water's top. Under the devil's elbow steam soared from Six-Stern Bay. Hands hauled and poured its lifeless tow as coolant choked away. Now we wait where wolves are hiding, for the fix and storm to knock. But a robin sings residing in the hawthorn by the lock. Its fiery breast is bursting,
bubbling over in its song, and every single note it brings makes waiting's hurt less strong.